is nothing but perception, hologram projection. It's the resurrection now. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. Reality is nothing but perception, hologram projection. It's the resurrection now. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. Open invitation to my inner conversation. I've been contemplating lately, how can I be an inspiration? I give you information, but if you don't take heed and something happen, don't look for me. I'm resurrected from the 14 different sections, come together as a weapon to kill the master deception. Yeah, they're all Decepticons, but none of them can mess with time. I tried to warn them, can't not one of them come mess with mine.
Yes, Connie.
I'm from a different kind, different mind, never mind. Just know the world is changing. I hope that you change in time. I hope you change your blood back over to alkaline. I hope you decalcify so you can see between the lines on the wall, cause it's written in the stone, but you too busy watching the throne. Yeah, I know. Your ego says I'm wrong. Yeah, I know. You taking care of home. Reality is nothing but perception, hologram projection. It's the resurrection now. It's the resurrection.
It's the resurrection.
It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. Reality
I'm gonna let y'all check that out.
Hologram projection. It's the resurrection now.
It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection. It's the resurrection, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Thank you to Yes Connie for those for that vibration. This has been a part of a total unleash for me. I am Madi Torres, aka Sex Energy Goddess 13, and this is my first episode of Decoding My Sexual Program. I've been talking about decoding my sexual program for ever since November, when I discovered what this sex energy goddess truly is in me. And this coconut water is so good. This is my favorite thing. And I wanted to show y'all. I really wanted to be like when I was opening this coconut. I was picturing myself in Puerto Rico, being like, you know, what we're gonna be. There's gonna be palm trees, and I could just pick up a coconut and, you know, get it open. So I was like, I'm gonna get this coconut open, and it looked like I really. And then this is a young coconut, so then you just take the inside and you eat the meat. And what I do is I put it into, and I learned this from Organic Blood. You put the meat in the blender with the coconut water, and you make coconut milk. So that's really good. But sometimes I like to just eat the coconut, drink the water, and eat the coconut. But see what happens when I divert my attention. But no, I just want to take my time with this one today, y'all, because this is the first episode of Decoding My Sexual Program. And as many of you may or may not already know, I was in a relationship for 23 years. I'm no longer in that relationship. And, you know, for the first time in 23 years, I am by myself. I am looking at myself from every aspect. I'm like, every crevice is being looked at. I am assessing everything that I do, and I am focusing on my highest good every time. But in the last video, I was talking about how you can't transform energy until you know what it is that you're transforming. Otherwise, that energy is just in there, and it's sitting there just kind of like going to wherever it's inspired to go through whatever you're vibrating. So one of the specific things that I want to talk about is the program, psychological sexual abuse, psychological rape, psychological rape is a situation that happens when you're not. It's not a violent rape, you know. It's a psychological rape. You know, my sexual abuse happened in psychological rape. And it started when I was a little girl, where I was told, you know, if you don't let me do this, I'm going to tell people are going to be mad at you, they're going to hate you, they're going to, you know. So this is when I was 8 years old. So I didn't, that was the beginning of it for me. And once that door was open, I was attracting all kinds of sexual experiences that I really had no idea how to handle. And when you live in a family, in a situation where those are things that you just don't talk about, and most families are like that, then those are things that you just don't talk about. So a person is left to deal with those situations on their own. And one of the ways that I dealt with it was just, getting rid of it in my mind. I had tunnel vision. I was very focused in all of the things that I ever wanted to create in my life. I can create a focus in there that was just really intense. And that was the energy that I was using from blocking this side of my life out. But see, this side of my life didn't get blocked out. This side of my life just got intensified in this direction. It's like the more you cover up, the more dense it gets. You're not giving any attention to it, consciously. So it's just sitting there. And it's a very powerful, strong energy. Sexual energy, and that energy tied into sexual abuse is so strong that it just really keeps developing more and more. It keeps growing. And so it has to come out in certain ways. So a lot of times it comes out in sexual abuse, the abused abusing the abuser, all of that abuse going on, and it's coming out in other, and even in more quiet ways and more intimate ways. Like for me, I became my own, sex handler, my own sexual abuser. So, I made decisions based on this fear that I had inside of me, because I feared what would happen if I didn't give in. So that situation that happened to me as a little girl, you know what I'm saying? It's like I grew up, and then I started doing that to myself, where I would put myself in situations with men, and then I would be afraid to say no, so I just did. And then what would happen is I would end up beating myself up over it, and I would end up, it was almost like two different people, because even when I did those things, it was an outlet. It wasn't like I was in a situation, and there is no guy that was ever with me that could say, oh, she didn't she didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's not that kind of thing. It's the kind of thing where in my mind I was just, this energy was just really coming out of me, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get on top of this man, and and I was so angry, and that was my way of getting back to men. I would not let a guy get on top of me. I would get on top. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I became, all of my sexual energy and all of my aggression came out in my performance of sexual activity. And so that made it something that was, I knew what I was doing. And the power, when all of your power is taken away, you know what I'm saying? When your power of self is taken away, and you recognize that you have a power that is powerful enough to make people kill, to make people lie, to make people steal, to make people cheat, it's like the yoni is a powerful thing. And even when you don't recognize it, you experience the power of it. And if you don't know how to decode it, if you don't know how to discern that power, then it explodes in other areas of your life. And that's exactly what was happening to me in my life. So it's like at that time, it was like I was very proud of what I was doing. And it was funny because Jill Scott has a song, I think it's called, oh gosh, I'm going to have to think back of what that song is. But she talks about, thank you. She talks about I'm getting a message, 11:33, that's come in, and I see it. Thank you, I know what it means. That is, the Ascended Masters are surrounding, and they are in support of this transmission. So, did I lose it? I was talking about the song. Oh, okay, the song. Okay, there we go. It's back. So Jill Scott is talking in the song about how watch it. That's a song, and she's talking about how she's doing it with this guy, and all she wanted was that she just wanted to have sex with this guy. And so that energy was so strong, and then she felt so strong, like when she was doing it, she was just totally doing her thing, taking over, being that sex energy goddess, But then when it was over, she was empty. And she was like, why am I left feeling empty? And the reason why you're left feeling empty is because this is an energy that is so strong. It's an aggressive energy. Sexual energy is an energy that says, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. It's that ooh, it's that vitality, it's that strong energy that there's no stopping this energy. So when this energy is undefined in you and you are experiencing it, it's going to come out and it's going to attract certain things into your experience. And if you're not ready for it, and as an 8-year-old, I wasn't ready for it. But you know what? That's what had to happen in my experience so that I can awaken to who I am. That had to happen in order for me to be who I am. And I am Sex Energy Goddess 13. I'm proud of who I am. I am that sacred whore. I am that divine virgin goddess. I am all of that. I am masculine. I am feminine. I am divine. I am all things. And so all of that comes with, now it's about shaking off all the shit. Everything that you didn't want to look at, everything that I didn't want to see, I have to see now. And even in, oh gosh, relationships. It's like in my relationship, it was a very intense relationship. It's a very, very intense relationship. Like the one, some people call it a twin flame. Some people call it a soulmate. But this is something that is like the desire and the intensity in the relationship. It's like it's necessary, and it's necessary so that both people could wake up. And it's like I am fully awake, and I am fully aware of everything that was and everything that is and why it was and why it is. And so where I am now in decoding my sexual program, I'm seeing exactly why I did the things that I did. And I knew that I was doing all of that to myself because, in the act of being with somebody, so you do all that and you go through all that. And then what happens afterwards, the things that we don't talk about is how, we beat ourselves up about it because it's not what ladies do. It's not what queens do. It's not right. It's not. And then you feel that energy of who you are as a true goddess, and you do love yourself, but you don't really know yourself enough to love yourself. So you don't really know even how to do that. So you're just living your life, scolding yourself over shit that you don't understand, but you still can't stop the behavior because you can't stop the behavior. And who stopped the behavior in my life was my true love of 23 years. And it was able, and it didn't, and it didn't even stop because this was, 23 years of life experiences. So the energies that existed in me continuously existed in me. Just like the energies that existed in him, and the energies, everything is in a flow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what all of the things that needed to happen are divinely orchestrated so that you can see. You know what I'm saying? And it's about not being afraid to look at yourself and not being afraid to look at the things that you've done and the things that you are. And it's not like you have to, I'm sharing this information because it is in my divine plan to share my experience. But this is so that you can recognize that if you connect to any of this, it's just really about reconnecting deeper and deeper within yourself. And decoding your sexual program is essential to your self-mastery. And I'm not just talking to goddesses. I'm talking to men and women. I'm talking to gods and goddesses. It's like sexuality. We've been all things. So it's not about, us separating ourselves. In this lifetime right now, in this vessel, I am a woman. I am a goddess. So, this is what I resonate with. The lifetime that I lived in this time is I'm really closely connected to those experiences, so I'm able to connect to other goddesses about that. But I also connect with my counterparts, with my male, because my whatever I experienced in my life, my twin flame experienced in his life, that same kind of energy on another level. But all of this is just really for us to find ourselves and for us to recognize the power that we have within this sexuality. Our sexuality determines our whole experience. The way that we feel about it, the way that we act within it is what determines what our life experience is. So we have to decode that. And I'm decoding that. And this is it's this exciting place. It definitely has that sense of scary because there is that part of me that is saying, Marty, what the fuck are you doing? But then I'm like, let me take a sip of this elixir, this snowflake obsidian, this amethyst, and this crystal quartz. and tell you that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. This is all I know how to do, so I'm sharing it with you, and I'm sharing with you the process. This is Yes Connie. I stopped it because the power of my wand made me stop it. Wait, the song is clear though.
Everything starts with this.
Everything starts with this.
That's just real talk. Dark matter, it's the matter,
It's a matter of you. Come out here, y'all. I had to get out of that moment. Transform. Now, this is the one that I wanted y'all to hear.
You know, I hear him tell me that I changed. And I say, of course I have. You're supposed to change. It's called growth, baby. You know, it's called evolution. It's called ascension. You're supposed to spiral up in that 9.
Spiral up in that 9.
Why you ain't changed? You going backwards. Come on. Let's get it together. The truth will set you free, but there's never any truth until you truthfully decide what the truth is gonna be. And if you overstand the cause, the effect is universal.
I gotta go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. And this is, I feel like I just want to go and cry. And I just might. But I'm going to be crying to this right here because I know that the truth.
I hope you wake up in your dreams and live a live. They tell me that I'm crazy, but I just don't give a shit. I operate on whole brain, working on the
13 love. Adios.
Soul train or soul train, I'm not playing this simple.